Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I kind of teased that this was coming in a video last week or earlier in this week, and this is going to be my Best of Beauty 2018 affordable and drugstore makeup only. So for this year, if you didn't see that video, which I will link right here, rather than doing a Best of Beauty about my top favorite products, I did kind of want to categorize high-end and luxury versus drugstore and affordable. That way, if you're only really interested in one, it's not kind of an overwhelmingly one versus the other. But what I did do, which kind of made this a little bit more fun, is in the description box of both videos, I did star my all-time favorite product from the category. So if I talked about a foundation in that video and a foundation in this video, whichever one I liked more will be starred. So if you wanted to go through the two description boxes, you will see what my actual top picks for the year in all categories was. But if you're just interested in high-end or you're just interested in drugstore, you can just kind of stick to the video that you prefer. Anyway, if that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching. And please don't forget to subscribe because I do upload 3 times a week. And that is the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. So without further ado, let's jump right into my 2018 Best of Beauty affordable products. So like I said in that video, I am going to go through in order I do my makeup. The one thing I will say is if I do not have a pick for a category, rather than put something in, if I only like the drugstore or I only like the affordable, I kind of skipped categories. So starting off with primer, my favorite drugstore primer for the year is the Fundamental Smoothing Primer from COLLAB Beauty. I reviewed this a very long time ago and recently picked it back up. By recently, I mean like October. It definitely, at first glance, gives you like major professional vibes, like from Benefit, but you see how it gives a soft sheen to the skin, but it's not illuminating, blurs and fills in pores, lines, everything, and it gives you a tiny bit of a tacky finish so that your makeup just sits so nicely on top of it and wears really well throughout the day. For my favorite concealer, because like I said in a previous video, I have been doing concealer before foundation lately, I picked the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, and from the state of the tube, you can see why. This is very well loved, and something I've said in many, many videos, the thing I love most about this concealer is I feel like it plays well with others so well. There is not a single concealer I can think of offhand that works as well with every foundation. Doesn't matter what I'm using, doesn't matter the texture, this just sits so well on the skin and blends into pretty much anything. Whenever I'm testing out a new foundation, I pretty much like to stick to that because I know it's going to work well with it and I can actually see how the foundation's going to wear as opposed to maybe it's just not going to work with the concealer. For foundation, I did pick 2. One is a winner. The other one is a very, very close second that I felt I needed to include both. The 2 are the Maybelline Superstay 24 Hour, and the second is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. I did do a full video on both of these, actually. It's tough because I find that they both wear really well, they both keep me matte, and they both are absolutely stunning on the skin. But I find that lately I've just been reaching for this one a little bit more. I don't know if it's because this one's not new anymore and it's not as exciting, but honestly, this was such a huge favorite of mine last year that I felt it would be a disservice to not include it at all. But as far as shade match color the works, this one's got to win. I think that this is one of the first drugstore foundations. First off, I love the doe foot, but it is one of the first drugstore foundations that actually offers a cool undertone. So you'll see that for me, that is my perfect match. Like on camera, it's gone. This is one of the few that I don't have to make work. Even though I do love the Superstay, it's a little bit more neutral than I typically like to wear because I am very cool tone with a lot of pink in my skin. So for me, finding a drugstore foundation has been nearly impossible. Makeup Revolution fixed that, and now like the fact that I can use this on a spot correcting anywhere and I don't have to worry about covering it up with powder or changing the tone because it actually matches me perfectly. For powder, big surprise here, this is the Cody Airspun. I am gonna show you, like, I don't know if you can see on camera. Do you see how empty this is? Like, I am in dire need of a new one. Brandon likes to joke that when he comes anywhere near my filming studio, he can smell the Cody Airspun. So for contour, I know that this does include bronzer and highlight as well, but I did pick favorites from those categories separately. This is the Morphe 8L Lo-Fi Sculpting Palette. It has 2 bronzer shades, 2 contour shades, and 4 illuminating shades. I like this palette. It is great for travel. However, for a contour palette, I love this brightening tone and this contour tone. The bronzers are a little bit warm for me, and I do like the way that the highlights sit on the skin and the way they blend out, but I would not call those shades my favorite. But if I did have to pick a hands down affordable contour palette, this would be it. For bronzer, another product with a very distinguished smell. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Every time I open it and smell it, all I do is get reminded of like coconut and a beach vacation, and I can't get enough of it. When you blend it on the skin, it's just such a smooth formula, and it adds such a lightweight sheen. I'm gonna add a touch of it to the cheeks today just so you can see what it does. It just kind of adds a little bit more warmth, and you see how it just kind of gave a little bit more of a sheen to the skin? This is one of those products that I find is so creamy, so blendable, plays so well with other products, sits nicely on the skin, but also like it makes your skin look like skin. I've lately been on a big kick that I don't love when all of my powders are so super matte, because it doesn't really look like skin anymore. And like I said in the other video, now that I've gotten my oils under control a little bit more and my priming and skincare have kind of come together to give me that perfect, like, my skin is okay, I can use a little bit more luminous products, which leads into the luminous blush that I picked. This is the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. It is actually very similar to the one that won in the other category, but it has a very soft sheen to it. It does beautifully reflect the light. And something that I love about it as well is that it's, again, more of a blush topper. This is something I could take over the cheeks to give myself a soft rosy glow. You can pack it on to really get intense, or you can use it as a base for your highlighters to get that really like beaming editorial highlight. For highlight, I did pick a pressed and a loose. The pressed is actually a baked shadow. This is from JCat Beauty. It is the Triple Crown Baked Shadow in Dolce de Leche. And I've spoken about this so many times, but I'm gonna take my brush. I'm going to find a place on me that's not highlighted. So I'm gonna do like right up here. And I'm just going to swirl that a tiny bit, not much. And we're just going to add some to the skin. It is just such a beautiful sheen and very soft. However, if you want to build it up, you absolutely can. And this will get all the way to blinding. I am wearing this today, and I think that especially for the like $4 price point, it gives you that custom, like you want more bronzy, you want more goldy, you want more light. It's almost like Everglow from Ofra and Nikki Tutorials. You can kind of blend them together to get your custom glow, or you can really just concentrate, focus on one color to give yourself a really vibrant sheen. Or you can kind of customize it yourself, and honestly, for the price, you really can't beat it. For the loose highlighter, I'm going to be raving about a discontinued product, and I hate being that person to do that, but this is the Wet n Wild Moon Tears Megaglow Loose Highlighting Powder. I'm going to add a touch of this to the cheeks, because as if like this isn't blinding enough, I'm going to take, what I do is I literally like take a tiny bit out of here, then I go into the lid and I like tap it off, and then, like, do you see what that did? Like, I get it, after a certain point, highlight just looks obnoxious and it's excessive, but for me, like, I don't think that point ever really exists. Plus, for the price, this is such a great formula, such a great product. If you haven't gotten your hands on any of the loose highlighters from Wet n Wild, you really have to. So at this point in my face, I would set down, and on my wedding day, right in between me and Brandon, was a bottle of this. This is the Morphe Prep and Set. It is an aerosol mist setting spray. It smells delicious. It gives you such a beautiful mist on the skin and just kind of sets everything down with a beautiful finish. It is skin-like. I will not call it matte and I will not call it dewy. It's kind of just the perfect setting spray just to take down the powderiness and lock everything in place. I find that this is one of those products that people rave about and people love to talk about, but until you actually use it, you never really know exactly what it's gonna do. And then the second you do, you're like, okay, so that's what my skin is supposed to feel like. For eyeshadow, again, this was probably the easiest decision to make. This is the BH Cosmetics Desert Oasis palette. This got its own dedicated video, plus I used it in like 3 more. It is an eye and cheek palette. All of the highlighters can double as face powders. That's what they are. All of the highlighters can double as eyeshadows. All of the eyeshadows can double as highlighters. You get your pops of color, your neutrals, and I think I just love the most about it is that it's so wearable. You can get any day look out of it, and it was like 20 bucks on sale all the time for like $13, this rivals palettes that I've spent hundreds on. For mascara, the one I'm going to show you is actually not my favorite because I messed up and bought the wrong one. It is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paridise. This one is the waterproof. I do not like the waterproof. I used it and I'm like, I got the wrong one. In the past, I had used the traditional and I loved it. People like to equate it to the Better Than Sex mascara, and I find it to be so much better than that one. It wears really well. It's long wearing. Even the non-waterproof one stays on forever and might as well be waterproof. But when you're ready to take it off, it comes right off. What I love about mascara is that this specific mascara is that it gives me a lot of volume and length and a little bit of curl, which is like, I'm always gonna go for curl. That's like my go-to. So anything that's really gonna give me those beautiful curled flared lashes is fine in my book. So for lips, these are my favorite formulas. For liquid lipstick, this is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick. This one is in the shade RoseBlood, which I wore to Thanksgiving dinner 2 years ago. Not this past year, but the year before. It is like this beautiful, deep cranberry oxblood. Definitely a Brett shade. I love a deep, vampy lip, and this one dries down beautifully. I am in love with the applicator. I find that you don't even need to line your lips with this because it is so precise in getting the lip line nice and tight. For cream lipstick, it has to go out to the Colourpop Luxe Lippies. This one is What's Your Sign, which was a collaboration with Kathleen Lights. I just think it is such a pretty nude. Like, this is my perfect nude shade. I love wearing this under a gloss, and it just wears so well, especially for the price. Like, this wears as well as some of my expensive lipsticks, and it's like $7. I don't want you to think that just because I'm saying this works better than an expensive one, that's the only reason I'm picking it. I don't want you to think that, like, these were picked because, well, for the price, they're good. These are genuinely favorite products that I reach for as often as my high-end and luxury products. I don't like these and think, well, it's good for the value. I like them because I genuinely like them. The last product I'm going to talk about today is my favorite gloss, and it is the Plumping Serum from Hard Candy. I'm going to add a little bit more of this today because it is that pretty. What I love most about this is I love a plumping gloss, and I love when there's a slight tingle to the lips, but it also just gives you such this beautiful pink shine. This is definitely like the best neutral gloss from the drugstore, and like there are days where I reach for this over my Fenty, over my Buxoms, over my Colourpops, over, honestly, I have so many like glosses I love, and I've done whole dedicated videos just to glosses, and this one is by far like one of the best formulas I have used. And that is the finished list. So like I said in the intro, I'm going to link down below all the products and asterisk the ones that are my all-time best of beauty for the year. And you can feel free to check out the other video to see what some of my other favorites might have been. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to leave me a comment down below letting me know what some of your favorite products for the year were. That is, like I say in every favorites video, how I determine what I want to try and what I want to play with. I go based entirely on your recommendations. So thanks again. Have a wonderful new year, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.